Hi guys, Alex here. Welcome back to Girl Talk. I've got a little bit of mess and a little bit of drama today for you guys. Today, we're going to be doing an update on Kind of Good, Kind of Beck, aka Becky Williams, aka Amberlynn Reed's ex-girlfriend, the most nostalgic ex, our favorite ex, of course. And people have been wondering for years, is she going to come on and talk about her experience with ALR? Last year, we got an expose from Destiny, which was Amberlynn's girlfriend here on YouTube for quite a few years. A time in Amber's life people like to call the Destiny era, after the Crystal era and right before the Becky era. But I feel like Destiny's expose fell a little bit flat. With Amber's ex Casey recently coming out of the woodwork, are we to expect an interview with Becky soon? Well, that may not be so far-fetched. Beck has no problem throwing a little bit of shade our girl's way in this video, leading me to believe the best may be yet to come. I've got all the tea, all the shade that Beck threw in her new live. Let's just get right into it. Shall we? All right, you guys, yes. Today, we're going to be discussing the return of Kind of Good, Kind of Beck. Last we have heard from Beck was a recent community tab post that she put up on Sunday, and it didn't look good. She had said that things had gotten so rough that she had to take a step back from her job and YouTube. She actually quit her job that she was doing, but Beck had talked about how she had had no time for herself at this old job. So if she can find something that works better for her and she is still able to pay her bills, I count that as a win. She admitted in the community tab that she is struggling mentally and emotionally, but has this new job lined up as soon as the background check goes through. Beck has been in a rough spot ever since leaving Amberlynn. She had been unemployed for years with ALR, although she was kept busy taking care of old girl. It was a wake-up call, this breakup. No longer was Becky able to live off of Amberlynn's YouTube income. She had to pick up the pieces and put her life back together post ALR. I feel like Beck, they realized it was no longer worth it to remain in this relationship. Yeah, it was easy to get by, but it was taking a toll on her mental health more so than ever, as they are still dealing with the mental toll that living with Amberlynn for years had done on them. I can only imagine the blow that was dealt to her self-esteem, trying to keep it cool with ALR. Well, Beck is back on the YouTube with a new live stream, giving us updates on her life after ALR. And she's being shady. We love to see it. So this was Beck's first day on the job. Things seem to be looking up. She just kind of sat back and watched today. She's doing something involving sales, working on a computer, but she doesn't want to say exactly what that is because she knows that there are people lurking in the shadows ready to mess things up for anybody, really. She addresses the Casey interview with Mr. Snowflake. She has seen it, but Beck declines on really talking about it, stating that all she knows is her story and they weren't there. Beck is definitely open to doing her own interview with Mr. Snowflake. TTTTT. People asked Beck a couple of times if she wanted to do this interview, and every single time she is open to do this interview. And this is the one that I think everybody is waiting for. We've heard everything from Destiny. It was very interesting to hear from Casey because it's been so long and people were just wondering what is up with him after all of these years. But to hear from Becky would be monumental. Beck makes it clear that they are not the type of person to go low. She's not going to come on and say a bunch of nasty things. She just wants to share her truth without malicious attacks against ALR. It just goes to show how Becky is a good person despite all that she was put through. She's not going to go there like Destiny, saying how Amber smelled and telling us how many times she showered a day. No, she wants to tell her truth and just keep it at that. Becky's going to keep it a buck. Beck has had a pretty rough couple of months. The anxiety is really getting to her, and a lot of people have questioned why she doesn't come on sooner. And you know, I've made my jokes over on the Twitter. Becky has come on in the past asking for money. She does have that reputation, but now I feel kind of bad because I really did enjoy her live stream. I think that she has attached Amberlynn to this platform, obviously, and since there is so much trauma there regarding Amberlynn, the anxiety kind of triggers transfers to the platform itself. She doesn't want to deal with Amberlynn anymore, and invoking her name on the YouTube, or even just coming on YouTube at all, regardless of what she's talking about, she just can't get away from ALR. For better or worse, she wouldn't be known without her. But I, for one, wouldn't mind hearing about Becky's own life. Becky's the best ex, the most nostalgic ex for me. Beck says that they were on Ozempic, but not anymore because of thyroid issues. Wow, they really just have been giving that out like candy, the Ozempic. Everybody's got it. She says that the last time she spoke to Wifey was last year, but not since the breakup. So she said last year, but I think what she was talking about was 2022. She said last summer. I don't think it was this summer because that's when they actually broke up. I think it was 2022 summer, but Becky didn't really address that. I have to wonder what they spoke about because around that time, as I recall, Feline was threatening Becky to release something damning about her when Becky made a couple of videos kind of talking about her experience with ALR, but not really getting too in depth. There was just something that she had to address because her name was being drug into everything. And Amber has to realize, I mean, she came on saying that she was going to threaten Becky into silence. She was going to get the police involved. To be fair, Becky said that she was going to get the police involved in this situation as well. But Amber continued to talk about Becky and throw little digs at Becky, and then got all shocked when Becky decided to come on and make her own video. You can't be shocked when someone replies to all of your digs. Becky does claim that she's going to come on and talk about her life from 2016 to now. I guess kind of like what Destiny did, going through the years and talking about all of the details that people may have missed. Because everything we have seen until Becky made her channel was through the eyes of ALR. She didn't have control of the camera or her own narrative, really. Although I do think that Destiny's expose kind of flopped. The best part of it all was when ALR called her on the phone when Destiny was live. Beck says that there is a portion of her life that she doesn't even remember, claiming that she might have disassociated. Putting two and two together, I'm going to have to say that this is 2019. Beck was on a lot of medications. The circus surrounding ALR at the time was next level, and Beck already even talked about her party in 2019, her birthday party. She barely remembers it at all. Beck hopes that ALR can open her eyes and work on herself, and throws a little shade. That's a lot to hope for, though, isn't it? Beck says. Got her. It's wild to me that all of these girlfriends have stories of the hardship surrounding their relationship with ALR, and ALR continues to be in denial about it. She doesn't see herself as the problem at all. She's incapable of that kind of self-reflection. Beck says that she has seen a lot of reactions and old content with her in it and reflects. She doesn't know how she wasn't able to see it. And by it, I think it's the way Amberlynn was treating her, the way that she was portraying her, the way that she was talking to her. Everyone could see how disrespectful it was, but Becky didn't want to see that. Back in the day, Beck would defend anything that Amberlynn had done. I wonder if Amber is worried about this coming out, worried about Becky kind of coming out with her story. Does Beck have some sort of truth bomb that she's still holding on to just in case? Something that will flip girl world on its head? Or have we pretty much heard everything? This was interesting. Beck says that they had no business being in a relationship at the time because of their maturity levels, where they were at mentally. And it's interesting because Casey said the exact same thing. We can literally get statements from Casey, Destiny, Becky. I would like to hear from Feline and what really happened, why she went no contact. But we hear the same things from all of these people that have spoken up. Beck admits she had no self-worth at the time and just let ALR walk all over her. Every day looked the same. To me, that sounds like a prison. And being in that room with ALR, over-medicated, having to wait on her hand and foot, having her throw a tantrum every time you went out for your own wants, for your own needs. It really was like a prison. This was funny. So Becky has no idea about FBI Frank. Her sister was never contacted by FBI Frank. She was not a contact in this situation. Did Amber make the whole thing up? Was it all in her head?
Dun, da, da. I get a message on Instagram from my ex's sister and said, the FBI showed up for you. She sent me a picture of like the card that the FBI gave her. The FBI said, contact her.
Wow, so it's not like anyone believed this situation anyway, but Becky said that her sister had no idea about the FBI. So I had to go back and find this soundbite because I didn't remember her mentioning the sister. I'm shocked. Absolutely shocked that the FBI situation isn't real. Becky's out here exposing the lies, but it was all a delusion. I've been in many communities here on YouTube over the years, causing trouble, being a menace, and people love to say that the police are watching, they've been contacted, the FBI is looking into things. They don't care about this. Becky spills the tea on why they didn't go to Pride in 2018. It was because it was too hot for Amber. And then she glumly says, whenever this happened, I had to just stay with her. Amber really held her back in life. It makes you think about Wifey and why she left. It was for similar reasons. Beck wants a partner, but she feels like she has too many problems right now. She doesn't want to rush into anything without working on herself and end up putting all of that trauma on someone else. That takes a pretty good deal of maturity to admit such a thing. ALR could never. She's ready to dump all that trauma on the next girl. Here, take my baggage. But Beck is absolutely terrified of messaging anyone back. What has been going on in these girls' messages? I mean, we've heard that from Casey and from Rafe, ALR's ex-friend, and someone who is currently friends with Beck still, that they could not open those messages after being friends with Amber Lynn. It was like a PTSD moment. Sorry to use that phrase. I know. But hear me out. To open up those DMs, they were absolutely horrified. Becky has been single since leaving ALR in 2021, and she admits that she actually did like that chili, Amber Lynn's chili. That's always been like a meme that Amber told her to like it, but Beck says that she did actually like that chili. Girl, what does she have over you? Here, Beck has no problems telling the truth about ALR and throwing major shade. When someone asks, what advice would you give to ALR's future girlfriend? And Beck just replies, don't.
What advice would you give Amber's future girlfriend? Don't. Simple. Just don't go there.
No.
She needs a lot of work before she gets into another relationship. And I mean that with all the love in my heart.
Mic drop. Well. It was an interesting turn of events to have Becky return here at the start of 2024. And for them to say that they are going to do a interview possibly with Mr. Snowflake. Now, Mr. Snowflake has said that they are already in contact with them on Instagram, or at least Mr. Snowflake sent the first message I saw in the side chat during Becky's live stream. It seems like Beck was inspired by Casey's interview to tell their truth. Now, Casey told his truth. Beck wants to come on and tell their side. I have to wonder what ALR is thinking while all of this is going down. Does she just hope that her little threats would cause Becky to stay away? She just doesn't want the headache of dealing with YouTube. And to Amber Lynn, she was happy that Becky had kind of taken a back seat from YouTube. She had pretty much disappeared from the platform. It has been several months since she came on and gave an update, since she told us about her new apartment and how she was living with Logan now. Will she, ALR, have to come on and address an interview from Becky? And could that cause our girl quite a bit of headache in that comment section? I know she was not happy with that Casey interview and having to address that all these many years later. But the biggest indicator to me is seeing all of these people say the same things about ALR, despite what she says, that everyone on the internet just has her wrong. Oh, we don't see her life. We don't live her life. We don't actually know her. Well, no, we don't actually know her. But these people that do, well, they seem to have a similar idea of things. It's worse than we could have even imagined. knowing the little bit that we do about what Becky was going through behind the scenes, it seems like her emotions had to take a back seat. Her wants, her needs had to take a back seat. And that feeling of freedom and being able to focus on herself, I mean, that was very real, but it was also, I'm assuming, overwhelming for her too. Not being able to deal with that for so many years and just having everything flood back in. You know how they say like Stockholm syndrome, or it was in a way comfortable for her to just focus on ALR instead of dealing with her own emotions and everything that she had going on as well. Not to mention, up until the breakup, I mean, Becky would defend pretty much everything ALR did. She didn't see it, and she even admits that she did not see it. She did not see it until the breakup was over and said and done. All right, you guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think. Did you enjoy this little shady live stream from Becky? What does the future hold? Will she finally expose our girl, or is there anything there? I don't know. I just enjoy hearing from Beck. I hope that they do stick around, because sometimes it feels like they just come on, get some cash and dip. It would be different if she stuck around. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I will, of course, catch you guys in the next one. All right. Bye, everyone.